What do you call an apology written in dots and dashes? A remorse code. What do you call a drug bust for a gang of drug-dealing alligators? Gatorade. Have you heard of the control freak at the bar? He ordered everyone around. Did you hear about the man who cut off his left leg? He's alright now. Cheese factory exploded in France. Debris is everywhere. What do you call a herd of sheep falling down a hill? A landslide. What do you call a moose with no name? A non-a-moose. Call birds that stick together? Velcros. Did you hear about the 12-inch dog? It was a foot long. Why did the peanut hire a bodyguard? Because he didn't want to be assaulted. What do you call a soldier filling in for the day? A submarine. What do you call a can opener that doesn't work? A can't opener. What do you get if you cross an elephant with a rhino? Elephino. What's brown and sticky? Shit. What do you call a drug bust for a gang of drug-dealing alligators? Gatorade.
Subscribe to my channel.
I had to break up with my girlfriend because she couldn't stop counting. I wonder what she's up to now. What is the least spoken language in the world? Sign language. Who is the highest ranking member at the hospital? General anaesthesia. What do you call a country that doesn't actually exist? A hallucination. 99.9% of people are dumb. Thankfully, I belong to the remaining 1%. What did the earthquake say when it finished shaking? Sorry, my fault. I always thought orthopedic shoes were overrated, but I stand corrected. What did Yoda say when he saw himself in 4K? HDMI. Did you hear about the actor who broke his leg on stage? He's still in the cast. Every morning I announce to my family that I'm going for a jog, but I never end up going. It's a running joke. How'd you get Pikachu on a bus? You Pokemon. What do you call someone who's allergic to galaxies? Galactose intolerant. What's a physicist's favourite snack? Fish and chips. I'm currently reading a book on DIY house construction. It's by Bill Jerome Holmes. What do you call the dinosaur that takes care of his teeth? Velociraptor. I just got kicked out of the park for arranging the squirrels by height. They didn't like my criticising. My girlfriend made a bet with me that I couldn't make a car out of spaghetti. She certainly looked surprised when I drove past her. I adopted a dog from a blacksmith the other day. As soon as I brought him home, he made a bolt for the door. Did you hear the magician who was driving down the street? He turned into a parking lot. Doctor, you have cancer and Alzheimer's. Patient, oh thank God, at least I don't have cancer. I met Bruce Lee's vegetarian brother today. His name is Broccoli. Did you hear about the archaeologist who lost his job? His career is in ruins. What goes? A snake with a lisp. I'm reading a book about sandpaper. It's a work of friction. Did you hear the rumour about butter? Well, I'm not going to spread it. I used to work in a shoe recycling shop. It was soul destroying. My wife asked me to sync her phone, so I threw it in the bath and now she's not speaking to me. I saw an advert in a window for a television. It said television £1, volume stuck on full. I thought, I can't turn that down. I was going to tell you a time travelling joke, but you didn't like it. I'm thinking of removing my spine. It's only holding me back. When I cancelled my appointment at the sperm bank, the nurse asked me why. I said, I just can't come today. I was late for my bus driver interview. They said I was hired. How does a cucumber become a pickle? It needs to go through a jarring experience. My girlfriend dumped me, so I stole her wheelchair. Guess who came crawling back? What's the difference between an outlaw and an in-law? Outlaws are wanted. What do you call a religious person who sleepwalks? A Roman Catholic. Have you heard of that music group, Cellophane? They mainly rap. Someone stole my mood ring yesterday. I don't know how to feel about it. I tried to catch fog yesterday. Missed. After dinner, my wife asked me if I could clear the table. I needed a run-up, but I made it. As I handed my dad his 50th birthday card, he looked at me with tears in his eyes and said, you know, one would have been enough. What do you get if you put a duck in a cement mixer? Quacks in the pavement. I was really embarrassed when my wife caught me playing with my son's train set by myself. In a moment of panic, I threw a bedsheet over it. I think I managed to cover my tracks. Why is a baseball stadium always cold? Because it's full of fans. What's the difference between a porcupine and a BMW? With a porcupine, the prick's on the outside. A banana turns to a vibrator and says, why are you shaking? She's going to eat me. Why was the sand wet? Because the seaweed. Did you hear about the restaurant on the moon? Great food, no atmosphere. A pair of jump leads walk into a bar. The bartender says, I'll serve you this once, but don't you two start anything. How did Darth Vader know what Luke got him for Christmas? He felt his presence. Did you hear about the chameleon that couldn't change colour? He had a reptile dysfunction. I like to spend my weekends playing chess with the elderly men at the park, but it's becoming more difficult. You try finding exactly 32 old guys. What do you get if you mix human DNA and goat DNA? You get kicked out of the petting zoo. What is the difference between an oral and a rectal thermometer? The taste. What do you call someone that doesn't like carbs? Lactose intolerant. To the man in the wheelchair that stole my camouflage jacket. You can hide, but you can't run. My friend keeps saying, cheer up man, it could be worse. You could be stuck in a hole underground full of water. I know he means well. Why was the belt sent to jail? For holding up a pair of pants. A woman told me that I had the biggest penis that she'd ever seen. Turned out she was blind. She was pulling my leg. I took up origami for a while, but I gave it up because there was too much paperwork. An infectious disease walks into a bar. The bartender says, we don't serve infectious diseases here. The infectious disease turns around and says, well, you're not a very good host then. What's the difference between light and hard? You can sleep with a light on. What do you call a line of men waiting to get a haircut? A barbecue. I'm so upset. My barber said that he can't cut my hair any longer. He can only cut it shorter. Do you think glass coffins will be a success? Remains to be seen. What do you call the snowman with a six-pack? An abdominal snowman.
Why didn't the witch wear undies? More grip on the broom. What's grey and comes in buckets? An elephant. What do spiders and dicks have in common? People always exaggerate how big they are. What's the difference between a cow and a crucifixion? Well, you can't milk a cow for 2,000 years. What do you call the cheap circumcision? A rip-off. What do small hotels and tight pants have in common? No ballroom. What's long and hard that a Polish woman gets on her wedding night? A new last name. What does a Mexican man put under his carpet? Underlay, underlay.
A brain walks into a bar and orders a drink. The bartender says, "I'm not serving you, mate. You're out of your skull." She said, "Talk dirty to me." I whispered, "The laundry is still wet." Does Miley Cyrus eat for her Thanksgiving dinner? Twerky. What's brown and smells like a bell? Dung. I had to remove a shoe from my toilet today. It was clogged. What does a cigarette and a hamster have in common? They're both harmless until you stick them in your mouth and set them on fire. What's the difference between an enzyme and a hormone? You can't hear an enzyme. What did the DJ call his son? My wife said to me, "You weren't even listening, were you?" I thought, that's a pretty weird way to start a conversation. My wife asked me to stop singing Wonderwall to her. I said, maybe. I went to the shop and asked the woman, "Can I have some shampoo, please?" She said, "Extra volume." I said, "Can I have some shampoo, please?" On my first day as a delivery driver for Mr. Kipling, I had to do an emergency stop. Fortunately, the lorry had exceedingly good brakes. My wife is threatening to leave me because of my constant name dropping. David Beckham warned me this would happen. My wife likes it when I blow on her when she's too hot. Personally, I'm not a fan. What side of the duck has more feathers? The inside. I bought the world's worst thesaurus yesterday. Not only is it terrible, it's terrible. How'd you find Will Smith in a snowstorm? You looked for the Fresh Prince. What's a lawyer's favourite drink? Pina colada. How do flat earthers travel? On a plane. My wife left me because of my obsession with pasta. I'm feeling kinda lonely now. I was playing chess with my friend and he said, "Let's make this interesting." So we stopped playing chess. I built a model of Mount Everest and my son asked, was it to scale? I said, no, it's to look at. My doctor told me I was going deaf. The news was hard to hear. I'm reading a horror story in Braille. Something terrible's going to happen. I can feel it. What's green and has wheels? Grass. I lied about the wheel. How many clickbait articles does it take to change a light bulb? The answer will shock you. I asked the IT guy, how'd you make a motherboard? He said, I tell her about my job. If you donate a kidney, everybody loves you and you're a hero. But try to donate 5. Oh, and they start screaming and the police get involved. I tried to get a reservation at the library, but they were all booked up. I hate it when my wife shortens my name to Dick, especially when my name's Paul. Why did the toilet paper roll down the hill? It wanted to reach the bottom. Did you hear about the naked guy that broke into a church? The police caught him by the organ. During the war, when board games were illegal, my granddad was thrown in jail. He was a Yahtzee sympathiser. My friend kept trying to annoy me with bird puns. Well, two can play at that game. I asked my dog, what is 2 minus 2? He said nothing. What do you call it when you feed dynamite to a bull? Abominable. How did Vikings send secret messages? Norse code. I went to the store last week to pick up 6 cans of Sprite. It wasn't until I got home that I realised I'd picked 7 up. What do you call an attic with lots of problems? Problematic. Okay, so I'm not very good with this type of thing, but I'd just like to say a big thank you to all the people who've subscribed to me since the channel began. I've nearly hit 100 subscribers now, and I know to some people that's not a big thing, but to me that is a massive milestone. I'd just like to say thank you. Even if you didn't subscribe, thank you for the comments, thank you for the likes, thank you for the shares. Everything that you're doing is amazing, and it's really, really helping my channel. So I'm really hoping that you keep following and you join me on the rest of my journey, because I've got a lot more content to put out and I can't do it without you guys. So thank you so much again. Thank you. Bye. What's 91 years old and lives on dead Beatles? Yoko Ono. What is white, cold, and can kill you if it fell from the sky? A fridge. What do you call the dog with no hind legs and steel balls? Sparky. I farted at work yesterday and my co-worker opened a window. It must have been a bad one with flight attendants.